And hello! Welcome to D2E3 Part 2.
Yeah.
Indie Game. Day of the Devs.
Day of the Devs.
Tim Schafer and folks at Double Fine and I Am 8-Bit and a bunch of indie developers are just like, here's a bunch of trailers and a bunch of people talking about our games in a nice way.
I enjoyed it.
That is one thing there's something about it. I don't know if it's a directive they give them. They're like, hey, just speak from the heart. Don't be afraid, because multiple games or developers were like, we were inspired by this game and this game and this game, and they name check games.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So many times you're like, clearly you're inspired by Pac-Man, and they're like, in the line, dot puzzle genre. Yeah. And it's just like, come on, man! Just say it! Say the thing! But this was a nice event, and we are going to roll through them with Axiom Verge 2!
You should play the first one.
What's the first one?
Axiom Verge 1.
Oh.
You should play it.
I played it for about an hour on my Wii U. Does that count?
You should play it more than that amount. Because it's really good.
It's neat. And the trailer for this one looks really cool.
Yeah.
And you can beat it without fighting bosses.
Yeah, I think that's really neat, because, like, a lot of the time you get to a point where a boss or a particular challenge just becomes a wall in that sort of game.
Right.
So being able to skip it is kind of cool.
Yeah, the developer said you could just walk by it, which is kind of a fun way to do it. Game looks good. Check it out if you're into Metroidvania nerd games.
Yeah, nerd games.
Is it Tome?
Tome.
I like this one, and I normally don't like black and white games, but
yeah,
this one had like a really charming art style, and the photography gimmick puzzles look neat.
It reminded me, not of Pokemon Snap, but of the photo mechanic from Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
We were taking pictures of like specific creatures in specific environments. I thought that was really cool. And it also reminded me a little bit of Night in the Woods, where you're just kind of exploring these small towns. There's a very chill vibe.
Chill vibe, and the dialogue seemed very charming. Like, this is one I'm going to put on the Andrew radar.
Yeah.
Phantom Abyss. God dang it. What if we made Legends of the Hidden Temple? Yes. What if we made it really cool? Great! What if we have cool art style? Awesome! What if we have fun gameplay? Yay! It's procedurally generated. KO. And then, like, the gimmick of, like, each champion can only be defeated by one person, and it's locked away forever. Just get out of here. It's not gonna be a hit!
No.
I'm saying that right here. June 12th. Phantom Abyss. You developers seem like nice people. You'll never watch this. But if you do, I'm sorry. Your game's not going to be a success. But maybe next time you get together with Nickelodeon.
So, we don't recommend it, but the choice is yours. It goes alone. All right.
I didn't see that coming. Garden Story, Frogdew Valley. It was really cute, and I'm not into it, but like
I am. I'm into it.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's got very calm. It's calm vibes. The dungeons look neat. I like the just the rolling around and like being planting plants.
It's like one of those games where it's like, well, let's take like a really cute art style and then let's do everything. It's a little bit of combat, a little bit of farm, a little bit of fish, a little bit of management sim, a little bit of this, and just roll it all together.
Yeah,
looks fine.
Yeah,
it's good. Soup Pot.
It is a game where you cook. Next.
I mean, it's such a realistic cooking mama. Like, there's not much I can say, because it's just like, hey,
watch the trailer.
Literally do recipes,
Yeah, it's just like, you cook. That's the game. That's the whole thing. And that's good. Like, not for me, but
the next one
cooking
looks like the hardest game ever made. It had a crazy art style, which was cool.
Yeah, like psychedelic, sort of 70s. I mean, they said
that like, we're 70s inspired. We're inspired by Pink Floyd and Hendrix and a few other people. And the ring system with the like gameplay, this rhythm game,
yeah,
looks impossible. And the developer's like, look, we didn't want to give you any kind of on-screen feedback. We don't want any like HUD messing with your flow, man, or whatever you're gonna do. You just gotta go with the vibe of the music. You just listen to it, and then that's how you know if you're winning the game. You just listen to it. I don't know why Bob Dylan developed this game, but I can't do it, man. It's impossible.
I want to play it.
It looks cool. I'd watch you play it.
Yeah. And maybe that's how we'll do it. I'll play it and you watch.
Oh yeah, I did like that it has like a deep like story.
Yes.
With no dialogue.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's you got a sense of it when they showed like some of the cutscenes and stuff, like little heartfelt moments and the interactions between the characters, and the way they did time lapse was really cool. There's like a montage driving scene where you got a sense of what the characters were doing and who they were, and that kind of experimental storytelling. Big soft spot in my heart for that.
Leads me to a nice segue into the next game. Indie games are exploring such really cool art styles.
Yes.
And doing amazing things. And even though Musical Story is a game I can't play, I just can't. The next one,
Vocabulantis, yes.
Oof, that's gonna be tough to say. So I was a fan of like Crashbox on HBO, but like it has that like dirtier stop motion. I'm trying to think of like another. It's not quite Coraline, but just a really junky kind of weird vibe. But the stop motion is really cool.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
They did a behind the scenes segment, and it was awesome.
It was one of the coolest behind the scenes development things I've ever seen. And
where they showed like, oh, okay, this is how we took an actual puppet and normal mapped an image of the puppet. Like, that was really cool.
We take a bunch of photos of different lighting, and then we put it into a computer. It was wow.
And this is the kind of thing that we like about this versus other showcases where, like, if it's behind the scenes, it's just the developer going, I'm very excited to talk to you about this game, and it's just them staring into the camera.
We thank our community for multiple years. Okay, but the vocabulus.
I have no mouth and I must solve puzzles.
Yes. I'm worried the story's gonna be a little too artsy-fartsy, but the game looks amazing, and I want to play it, and it's next year, so we'll get there. Speaking of things I don't want to play, see, that's how you segue, without a segue. Road 96, man. Procedurally generated, weird art style. Just does not look like a game for me.
I didn't think it was procedurally generated. I thought it was just like a billion different divergents that you could go through.
I know it's like randomized a little bit when you play, so yeah. I don't know how it works per se. Although this is like the fourth trailer I've seen for it. Each time I get like halfway through and my brain's just like, and gets gone, because it is not my kind of game. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it functions. I don't like that there's hundreds of thousands of possibilities.
Now, there are exceptions, and in Canada, the whole thing's flip-flopped.
Wandering Village. Which one was Wandering Village?
That was the one where there was the giant dinosaur thing and the land was on top.
Oh, yeah. It was a civilization development sim on the back of like a Titan. Yeah, and the thing, it's a big turtle thing, and it's like over and yeah, this is me doing it. And then there's a thing on my. You see that episode of Futurama with Bender with the civilization on his back?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that.
Yes. It looked good.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm gonna play it, but it looks good.
I would like to give it a shot at least because it looked really neat. I like colony sims to an extent, but like having it be in such a like tight way and have that way for your community to interact with the environment on like that kind of grand scale, with being able to an extent control the big dinosaurs movements. That's really neat.
Unbeatable. This was the other music-based rhythm story game, which was like Fully Coolly, the game.
Yeah.
It's super anime inspired. It looked cool.
Music sounded awesome.
The interactions, like when you're running around town and such, looks neat. The gameplay is just a fucking hot mess, man. I understand it's not for me. Other people can enjoy it. I know it's a rhythm game, so I'm already opposed to it. However, can you just like put up a screenshot or something? Like, this is just like.
I'll play a short clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even for me, there's just a little too much going on.
Much.
It's shaking and vibrating, and I can tell even I, who really likes rhythm games, I would just have so much trouble focusing.
Yeah. The next game, we turn to our birds and game expert, Jen.
Thank you. That was her impression of the main character, who was a crow in this game.
It's a game called Death's Door, where it has a cool setup.
Yeah.
The trailer, the story looked good.
Yep.
And then it turned into like another isometric action game, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of lost me a little bit, but the fact that you play as a crow with a sword who does not fly with your girlfriend. She still is very angry.
I'm
She's still mad.
Peeking in from
On
the
a
corner.
scale of like 1 to mad, how mad are you?
mad.
Mad. Okay.
Very mad.
Dustin, I want you to insert a drawing of how mad she was. Okay, thank you.
I can make that.
All right.
happen. Yeah.
Beyond the frame.
Behind the frame.
Behind the frame. I'll just make up titles at this point.
Yeah.
Behind the Frame was a really cutesy game.
Yep.
It looked very simple. It's hard to describe it. It's like you're playing a cartoon almost.
It reminded
in point and click.
Yeah, it's definitely inspired by those old school point and click PC games.
It reminded me of like a high end artsy version of like a children's education point and clicker.
Yeah.
A Lek Head. So this was like a retro inspired game where you're like a little chibi robo.
Yeah.
But your head's electric, and then you throw your head.
Yeah.
And other things become electric.
Yeah. I think it just looks cool. I like
Looks
the
good.
mechanic of being able to toss the head away, and your body has like limited amount of power and time to get back to the head so you can proceed. That's cool.
Demolition Robots KK. We play as giant robots and you punch buildings for money.
I was reminded of Power Shovel.
A very nice game for a very nice price. This one looked okay. I guess it could be called Demolition Robots okay.
Yeah.
Walk.
I just wrote, it's one of those in my notes.
What if it was PS1 inspired, but then it was spooky in Japanese? Like there's a lot of games like it,
It's
but
like
I
Clock
can't.
Tower.
No, because it's that more creepy, realistic like horror.
Yeah.
It's like a walking simulator where things jump at you.
Yeah. Like the friggin'... There's a bunch of these that got really, really popular.
Yeah, it's
But-
like Japanese Slender Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moonglow Bay.
The town can only be found by those who inhabit it.
References for nobody.
It's a fishing game where you can't fish. Or no, it's a...
No, it's a fishing game in a fishing town of people who don't like fishing.
Yes.
And it was cute. It's voxel graphics and
Yeah.
look nice.
Just-
Inoffensive?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
fair?
It is very just... That is a game where you
You
have
it.
activities and you do the thing, and that's
Loot-
just fine.
Loot River was another top-down isometric action game. I don't like the art style, but like its hook is that you control the power of wood, and you could just be on like a wooden platform and then just move the platform around
Yeah.
in interesting ways, which is not a bad mechanic. It's weird.
Yeah.
Looks fine. No thanks though. It's
Procedurally generated.
correct.
That's the
Roguelike, me no like.
yeah.
The next one, we go back to like crazy art styles and games doing things that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And Despoleto.
Despelote. Game takes place in Ecuador. You play as a kid who's really into soccer. That is all that I could glean, because looking at this game just kind of makes my eyes hurt.
It was tough to look at. I don't know how they landed on that, because like the color, you described it as magenta beige Oberdin, you know?
Yes, it's like if Oberdin was messier and just had a very strange color palette. Like I'm not sure that they were going for. I can't really speak to it so much, but I don't think I could play that game for a long time. It just kind of messes with me to look like. It
And
looks like one of those magic eye puzzles.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
if you,
yes.
Maybe if you get really close to the screen, the game looks better. Like this.
And our last stop is Last Stop, which it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a spooky mystery. It has an okay art style. And a interactive. And
Yeah.
it's fine.
It made me think of Stranger Things meets Life is Strange. Life is Stranger Things.
Yeah, and that was
Life is Things.
that was it. They had an Oxenfree 2Ts at the end, but there was no new content. So Day of the Devs, nice sweet event.
Yeah.
Nothing amazing, but just from like I'm bumping my score up based on how pleasant
Yes.
and how nice it was.
There was a lot of
And-
just Dev excited,
Remember those
talking to the
two
camera.
dorky guys were like,
Yeah. But they were like out of sync, so I was like,
yeah. So B minus.
yeah. I think that's I think that's fair. I just really like it when a large company or an organization gives a bunch of indie games a chance to shine, because that's where I see a lot of the innovation happening in game development is in the indie scene, and I'm real passionate about indie games. So that's like super cool. A couple of games, most of them are just generally on my radar. A couple of them don't really care for, but there are a couple of them in there that I'm just like, I am there day one.
Fair.
Yep.
I could probably say similar things, but before we go, let me check one thing. Jen, you still mad?
Yes.
Okay,
Says
cool.
yes. All right, see ya.
Bye.